My name is Ava Richards, and welcome back to the second episode of Quaran-Tea Time, a show where I team up with my friends over a Zoom call for the ultimate baking competition. And today I actually have a special guest star, so let's meet him.
Hi, my name's Andres Radivero.
In this episode, we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies, but not just any chocolate chip cookies, our mom's favorite recipes. It's a battle to see which one is the best. Alright, so let's go watch and see the recipe that Andres made.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be baking some chocolate chip cookies. My mom and I made a whole bunch for the first responders, but here's the standard recipe so you can make a normal batch and not a huge batch. So we start off with 7.5 ounces of flour, half a cup of white sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 1 stick of melted butter, 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, a dash of salt, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and a couple cups of chocolate chips. So the first thing we did is we added our flour to our dry bowl, and then we mixed the flour. And we put our brown sugar in a mixing bowl, followed by butter that we melted in the microwave for about 2 minutes. After that, we set our mixer to low and then added an egg after we cracked it. And then we added our flour, still had the mixer on low. And then after that, we continued to have its mixer do its thing, and then we started to bring up the speed. And then after that, once the dough looked pretty well rounded and mixed, we decided to place them in small balls on a pan and then put it in the oven. And that was it.
Alright, Andres did a nice job with his recipe, but let's look at my definitely better one. And here are all the ingredients that are in it. 1.5 cups of flour, 1.25 teaspoons of salt, 3/4 teaspoons of baking soda, 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter, 1 cup of dark brown sugar, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 egg and 2 egg yolks, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 6 ounces of chocolate according to the recipe, but I used most of a bag. So the first step is preheating the oven to 375 degrees. Then I grabbed a large bowl and measured out the flour, salt, and baking soda and whisked them all together. Then I grabbed a saucepan and put it on medium heat on the stove. I cut 1 stick of butter into the pan to melt it and create brown butter. If you've never made brown butter before, it's pretty easy. You just have to watch it very carefully and stir it occasionally. After it starts to bubble up and foam, then you will start to see it turn brown. It takes a couple of minutes for it to look like this. Once it's brown, you can take it off the heat and transfer it into a heat-proof bowl. Then you can cut the remaining half stick of butter into the bowl and stir it together to combine the two. After it cooled, I poured in both types of sugar and mixed it all together. Then I cracked an egg and poured it into the bowl. For the other 2 eggs, we just need the yolk, so to separate it from the whites, I like to pass the yolk between the 2 halves of the eggshell to let the whites fall out into another bowl. Then I combined them into the mixture until it had a very smooth texture. Now it's time to add the vanilla and combine it even further. After that, you can pour in the flour mixture as well. I poured it in 2 different sections to make it more manageable when I'm stirring it all together. And finally, it's time to add as much chocolate as you want. I was going to add in only 6 ounces, but I accidentally spilled most of the bag into the bowl and just decided to keep it all in. And now you can mix it all together and create your dough. After that, I grabbed a baking sheet and put some parchment paper on it. I used an ice cream scoop to place the balls of dough onto the sheet because it makes them a more uniform shape and size. The next step is optional, but my family always puts our cookies in the fridge for 20 minutes since it helps them to bake a little bit better. But after that cooling time, I put them in the oven and set a timer for 8 minutes. I actually ended up baking them for 9 minutes and 30 seconds since they didn't look done enough when my timer originally went off. But here's how they turned out. For more flavor, you can also put some sea salt on the top as soon as they get out of the oven, which I always like to do. And now it's time to taste test both of our recipes.
Alright, so let's try our cookies and see how they look. So I'm going to go over my cookie first. This cookie, a lot of texture, a lot of chocolate chips, a lot of sugar. This will give you diabetes, but it's worth it.
Well, tell us about your cookie. How does it taste? What are the different flavors you're getting here?
A lot of chocolate, a lot of sugar, a lot of sugar.
Is your recipe mostly sugar?
That's a secret I can never tell.
Alright, so this is my cookie. As you can see, There's some nice sea salt on top to add some extra flavor. They're just the perfect golden brown.
How does it taste?
It's so good. It's so, like, the flavor's so rich because of all of the brown butter, and there's a lot of chocolate. Look at all the chocolate here.
Ooh.
Now that we've both tried and bragged about our own cookies, it's time to see who the winner is. I've asked my brother to do a blind taste test of both of the recipes so he can determine which one tastes the best. Here, let me guide your hand. Here is the first cookie you're gonna try. And give your thoughts on it.
It's a little crunchy to my liking. A bit too sweet as well. It's got a weird texture to it as well. But overall, pretty good.
Okay, now for the other cookie. Oh, you found it.
This one's a lot more soft, a bit salty, but overall, pretty good as well.
Okay, so which one is the winner? The first cookie or the second cookie?
I like the second one more.
You heard it here first. This is the best cookie, according to my brother. Thank you so much for watching the second episode of Quaran-Tea Time. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you were able to bake alongside with us. I'll see you next time for another new episode. Bye!